scoreline says 7-2,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that easy.
No. Like the goalie, I thought Rittich was really, really good. Did he get a star? Did Rittich get a star?
No.
He would have been one of my three, for sure. That's just me. So, yeah, he was a really important player, probably the most important player.
Offensively, it's not every day you see all 12 forwards collect at least a point.
Mm-hmm.
That end of the ice, is that exactly how you draw it up, where everyone's contributing that way?
Well, we'd like to. I mean, I look at it as all four lines, for sure. I just saw the stat that everybody got a point. I didn't even recognize that prior. But all four lines contributed, for sure. And I thought it was really important for Kopi's line to get on the board like they did. And if there was one goal that I thought was the most important goal of the game, was Kuzi's goal at the end of the first.
Is that a tough coach's challenge to make when you're up by so
Yep.
much, but you also want to protect your
Right.
defender's potential shutout?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point, and we thought about that. It's 6, take your medicine. It's 6-1, move forward, or give them a chance to get to 6-2. Can be risky. They were on us all night, so it wasn't like they weren't getting anything. So yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, that call for sure. But David had played so well, I thought we owed it to him anyways.
We talked in the past about this maybe not being the most high-powered offensive team. You get 7 tonight, but it's not just the number. The quality of goals tonight was really high in from this team. Is that just kind of showing where this team can get to offensively, kind of the potential for it?
Well, I hope so. I think there were a couple scrambles that we found the back door, but I thought the impressive were the shots that beat the goalie from the outside again. We're talking about Morsey, scoring all those goals last year with that shot. Now it looks like, barring in, we're seeing that pretty often from him, and maybe he's just getting a little confidence with it. So Juice's was a great shot. Kuzmenko's was a great shot. So I think it was the quality of the shots more than the breakdowns necessarily from Carolina.
What can it do for Andre moving forward, finally getting a couple points? He'd been playing well, but
Right.
he hadn't been rewarded.
Yeah.
What can it do for him going forward?
Well, I mean, we'd been telling him that. He'd been, close, and it sounds good. The coach tells you, good job, you're close, don't worry about it. But it's sure a heck of a lot better to actually score one, get an assist and get actually on the board. So, hopefully it's a springboard for not only him, but I think that line. I think that line hadn't scored as much as they would like to. So they get all three in the first, right? They got all three in the first, so that was, I think, important for Kuzi, but the line just together.
Well, and you talked about that pregame, about getting him going and trying to bring him along and tell him, keep doing it. And then he does. Goes out. I mean, I don't know what you told him before the game.
Yeah, right. Same thing I told him before the games that he didn't score. So yeah, just stick with it. You know what I mean? We've been happy with him, so he's starting to put pressure on himself like anybody would. So we just have to make sure that he knows that we got his back.
On their power play goal, we talked to Minnesota about getting the pretty ones, but not the gritty ones. This one felt like a combination of both a great pass, but also a puck to the front, and then just skating in.
Yeah, and there was a few of those, so it felt a little bit like, and we've had nights where we just haven't scored much, as you know, and you guys were on me, hey, how come you can't score? And sometimes the goalies make saves, or you don't execute. Tonight was one of those nights where it seemed like we got a little bit of that luck, or a little bit of that randomness that we had been missing over, I think, a course of the season, on our side tonight. And you hope that it happens like that. We'll take a few more nights like that. I think we're still owed.
Jim mentioned the quality of the goal, of the shots tonight. Kempe's goal, we've kind of become accustomed to that play from him, just pick up the puck and score out of nowhere. Is he maybe nationally underrated? He's one of the most dangerous rush shooters in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys asked me those questions. I don't know where people rate him. But if you look at his body of work, he's scored a lot of goals like that. And not only on his offside, but on his strong side too. So he can get it from both sides. And if you let him get a release away, and there's a lot of times the guys get the stick on puck and it goes into the crowd, so you let him, he's got a chance. We know that. I would say anywhere 10 feet over the blue line with his wrister, he's got a chance.
With all skaters getting over double digits of ice time, you don't, I don't know how to say this, but how much more comfortable are you feeling kind of rolling these four lines and being able to play everybody at that high of a level?
Yeah, well, I think mostly it's Sammy's line. The other guys would tell you, if they were here, that they only played 16 minutes tonight, like they would like to play 19. But when that line's going as well as in, there's just going to be less minutes for those guys. Most nights, not every night. There'll be nights when we're chasing or from behind or something that those guys get poured out the door. But I think, as well as those guys are playing, that's just going to balance us out a little bit more and keep everybody kind of a little flatter. until they're not, until I roll them out 23, Kevin, the other night. But no, it makes a difference. It does make a difference. That line is playing terrific.
But for a team that can't score goals, or isn't it most gifted offensive team, you have two guys who could get 20 on your shutdown line and more in full goal.
Yeah.
So that does talk a little bit about the depth of
Yeah,
the scoring
yeah.
there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, can't score. We've had difficulty scoring it for stretches, right? I think that's maybe a better way to put it. You look at some of the goals and you say, well, those guys can score goals. It's just a matter of feeling good. And we talked about those guys. Morsey hadn't felt good for most of the season. Clearly he's feeling it. I don't know. You guys would know the numbers. He's got 6 or 7 or 8 in the last 3 weeks maybe. I don't know. I mean, and big-time goals. So it's just coming together for him at the right time, and we'll take it.
You mentioned Sammy's line there. We've talked about how good they've been since the deadline when Turcotte moved down there. But how nice is it to see them rewarded with goals in 2 straight games?
Yeah. I mean, we had said that they'd been physical. They played in the ozone, gave us good shifts, but they hadn't scored. And not unlike Kuzi, when the coach has a good job, and you're like, yeah, but ultimately we like to try to score a goal. That's the name of the game. So to see it 2 nights in a row, and again 2 really good goals, and Sammy had the great chance in Chicago the other night from the front of the net, missed, had another one coming down the wing. So it's not like it's a one-off. They've been dangerous.
Sammy looks almost like a different player compared to when he was here.
Doesn't he?
He's so much more comfortable. What has been most impressive about his improvement? Where is maybe the area that you've noticed the biggest improvement in his game that's led to that improved play?
I don't know the answer to that. I talked to him actually about it before the game tonight because I've had the same evaluation. He just looks different, and I can't pinpoint it. He couldn't pinpoint it either, by the way. I asked him, do you feel it? What is it? And I think it's just a comfortability the second time up. You go down, you play again, and now you just know the league a little bit more, their teammates. I don't know, but he's really taken a step. It really is. I said, there were times when he first came up, played well, but there were times he looked maybe a little out of place. He just doesn't look out of place at all. He just looks like a 2 or 3 year veteran at this point.
You're going to watch the Vegas and Edmonton games tonight?
I didn't even know they're playing. Oh, they're not playing each other. They're playing. Yeah, we'll end up on the couch. Probably have that on. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be their own movie with the wife.
Rooting for the other teams, maybe?
What's that?
Rooting for the other teams, Detroit.
I gave you that one. I'm not gonna let you put words in my mouth beyond that. I'm gonna watch the game, but not likely cheering for Edmonton or Vegas. No, I will give you that.
Another back-to-back, trying to stay fresh for tomorrow. What does it take to do that with the earlier game today and the later one tomorrow?
Well, part of it is to Carlin's question. We were able to spread the ice time around, quite a bit. I think even Smitty on the back end, Drew and those guys, Mikey. By the time it was over, I don't think Drew was under 20. I wouldn't know when the last time Drew was under 20 when he was healthy. Somebody can go find that one out because I think that's a pretty good. You'd have to go back a ways, I'm guessing. So yeah, we were able to spread everybody out a little bit tonight. San Jose's got to play, Boston's playing tonight too. So they come in and the circumstances will be similar, but I think we were able to. And don't forget, we came in late from Chicago too. So it wasn't a normal. It's not a normal back-to-back. This one's going to require some energy tomorrow night.
Jim, we're at the point of the season where we kind of know or have an idea of who the true contenders are in this league. I think most people consider Carolina one of those teams.
Yeah,
Does
we do.
not just the win, the goals, but the quality of competition at this time of the year mean a little extra more for this win?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a fair comment. Those teams are, well, you can see it. I think you can probably see it yourself. Like, they were coming. That's a good team, and without David, they could have got 6 or 7 themselves. So it gets you. I think the one thing it does for our team, though, and this is an unfortunate observation that I have, is we seem to rise to that level when we're pressed to do it, and that's when we're at our best.